be a bit too much for Save to withstand in that lane.
You wanted that.
Leaving Pure now on his own. Both off laners at the moment. Off to a slower start when it comes to farm. Just 6 last hits between on each of them right now here.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise of those ones is probably the Razor. Okay, bottom lane again. Whitemon getting caught by the shards.
At the same time, up top, we're seeing them sort of try and go for a kill onto Immersion. This time, Revenge is had down bottom. Pure able to help take down Whitemon. Top lane, Toronto Tokyo, barely getting away here in the efforts of the two of them. Control attempted here around this pool camp.
Walk down body blocker.
Again.
Yep. Had to do that. That was a really good sentry timing from Immersion. He opened the camp at 2:58. A good tip for you guys out there, if you're looking to unblock camps, try to do it around that minute mark so you make it very difficult for the enemy team to react in time. But Toronto was on top of it here. Body block with that opening, and as a result, that camp blocked, and he will be able to pull the small camp once again. That should push the wave into tower for Nightfall, which he's very happy with. What you want as the Slaughter against Razor is to not get the wave down to the Razor's tower so he can start walking the dog. You want to be in your little house. Avalanche toss. Okay, pretty good combo on Toronto
good
here.
Setup. They've got the static thing going, but he's under the tower. He's fine. Nightfall's going to head in and keep Kasani and Immersion held back away from Toronto Tokyo. Trying to trade into them as well, but has to respect the fact that Kasani's built up a fair bit of damage there with the link, so Nightfall's pull back.
We've seen this Max Crush build rise to prominence recently, but Nightfall is going for the more traditional 0-1-2 build here. Points up in the bash. I think many of the offlane Slaughters we've seen have gone 0-1. And even maxed out the Crush into 1-4-1. Yeah,
he's going to make that move here. They've got the 3 of them ready to try and punish the fact that Kasani and Immersion are both sitting relatively low. Missile in, heading over towards Kasani. It should be enough to take him down. Nightfall with the final bash. Shards are up. They block off the escape from Immersion. Being blood grenaded. They're diving into the tower. Crush is back up. Betboom with that move from Save will secure both the kills.
We're seeing exactly what we were talking about in the pregame, right? This is a game where there's so much volatility from playing the gate. And we're also seeing the other thing we talked about. Well, now Save doesn't have mana. So he's kind of just stuck up here and he's starting to walk down. I think under normal circumstances, he would probably gate back bottom and join his Wind Ranger, but he can pop his stick and then take the gate and then he's just there doing nothing. So I think he might actually just take this bounty and go back to base and keep bottom, maybe? Or is he gonna make the walk and then send some regen out? Let's see. He does have something on the courier, I believe.
Yeah, he's got clarity in mana.
Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, has to buy that extra mana that he ends up losing from doing the gate play, but still well worth it, of course.
Yeah, sitting pretty low here as he steps quite far up the lane. They've got the boundless into the pullback of and the jump forward from the spring. A little risky of a position there for Pure to be playing in. We're sitting rather low and stepped up.
Nothing comes from here. It's just such a terrifying lane to play against it alone. There's basically no hero that will do well against Monkey King on their own. There's so much chasing potential, so much slow, so much damage. You can't TP out from the slows because each of the heroes have a stun. One has a fear. The essence of it is the same. Pure has opted to go for 2 in the power shot. I thought maybe he was going to go 2 in Wind Run, actually, just because you really need to try to have some way of creating distance. I think he's going to go 0-2-2 now, and maybe even 3 in the Wind Run at level 5, just because, yeah, it's the way you stabilize the bot lane. I think aiming to play offensively by skilling Shackle Shot here is not going to bring much with it. Whitemon caught on the rune.
So once again, really safe, making these moves from top over towards the mid, ensuring that Boom's cores start to have a good time. Of course, as we saw, Pure paying the price as he was left on his own. As Save definitely making up for it, for his absence down bottom with the impact that he's having in the other lanes.
I think Save's play so far in this game has been... I didn't really see how he died the first time bottom, but you kind of have to make some sort of space for the Wind Ranger in the lanes necessary, but his rotations have been pretty much perfect. Massive impact out of the Tusk so far. Same can't really be said for the Tiny. He's been more static up top, yet to find an assist. Obviously also hard for him to gank anywhere. You're playing a Dragon Knight mid without Dragon Tail. You're not going to rotate there on Tiny and look for a kill there. And if you take the gate, as we've talked about earlier, Tiny's mana pool is pretty bad, so going for that commitment, there has to be something that's worth it. And the lane didn't need help, right? If he leaves top to go bottom, he's probably sacrificing his Razor for what, right? Bottom lane's already going well for Tundra.
Immersion will grab his own Wisdom Rune, but Toronto Tokyo and Save the gonna see if they can take him out. Backup comes in though. Tomato's in with a 2-man boundless strike. Toronto Tokyo is a couple of hits have been taken down. Tomato, one more to do it. He'll finish off the job. And Save, he's got to run. Immersion and Kasani hot on the chase. The plasma builds up. They'll slow him down. Betboom there with a failed attempt to take that Wisdom Rune away from Tundra. They don't get the rune, and they lose 2 heroes for the efforts.
Nice rotation there from Tomato. I think it's key there that he gets 2 kills. Well, he got one of them himself, I believe, but just that both heroes get killed off. He only gets a kill on a support. That rotation is hardly worth it, but I think both of them there are very good.
Oh,
however,
I mean, he tried to go here for the gate, but indeed Nightfall's waiting for him as well at Toronto Tokyo. He's trying to get the ult up, but the bash is back up. Tomato, he'll get taken out. Tries to get back towards the bottom lane, but ends up getting sent back to base.
Great read. Nightfall to be camping up there waiting for the Monkey King.
See over in the mid, Brawl. Chase GPK a bit, but GPK still got enough mana. Chase Brawl just continue to push forward. The second round of the Dragon Form, though, you can see already a lot of good pressure from Brawl. This
He's actually
already is going to be this tier 1 tower. Yeah, we're 8 minutes in. Second usage, really, of the Elder Dragon Form. It's a very early tower to be taking.
Yeah, they also grab the power rune. It will be taken by Immersion, not the Dragon Knight, so potential gank here coming up. 2 points in Avalanche, could rotate down to bottom. It's a really good hero against Wind Ranger when you do get up close.
Well, saving Toronto Tokyo, they are on the hunt. They'll find Whitemon. Power shot on mark here as Whitemon taken out here by the setup for the 2 supports. Tomato setting up in the trees. I see GPK is going to jump across. Tomato is able to get off the ult though. Primal Spring and just pound the strike down on the 2 of them. Save's going to get caught out. Tundra, they're holding their own here around the tier 1, and GPK, he's completely out of mana. He's trying to bottle up, but the damage is done. Primal Spring from Tomato slows him up. Let's get GPK as well as Tundra set up for Betboom's attempt.
Great response. That was just such a huge rotation from both teams, right? Betboom make the first move before the Invis Tiny comes down, but this just transpires into a large fight where bringing the numbers.
I think it was super close as well. I think GPK was very close to cutting the tree that Tomato was on when he
exactly. If he would have cut the right tree with the zip, this is a totally different story, because Wukong's command going off is the reason that Tundra even have a fight in them there. Otherwise, the Monkey King would have just been burst down straight away, probably. Or we're looking at a completely different outcome, so. Since millimeters.
To top lane, Tomato tried to pick up some farm, but he's turned up the lane that once again Nightfall is more than happy to see him appear in a couple of times now where Tomato's tried to get some farm or make some sort of move on that top half, and both times Nightfall has shut him down.
And as we have established prior to the start of the game, this is a game where Slardar should be struggling in theory based on matchups, so being 3-0 and having this type of a game instrumental to finding impact later on.
GPK?
Probably not surviving this one, unless...
I mean, GPK, he's having to use quite a lot for it. We'll get the kill, and with the backup of Toronto Tokyo and enough mana in the bottle, he'll get away with it.
Slardar is taking the tower minute 10. That is...
He's getting a lot up in.
Very unusual. Opts to go for the Midas. Going Midas into the new Echo Saber, that Void Stone, so he'll get that mana regen flying out. And the full-on commitment to the Bash of the Deep build, right? He's maxing it out. This is the faster, I would say, if you're flat out just AFK farming, this is the faster build.
Tomato was very scared of them making a move there. He actually just lays down the ult to sort of deter them from chasing him for more. Will work in the sense that Betboom back off. Tomato, yeah, full defensive right now. It's been a couple of times that he's been picked up on this top part of the map. Can't really afford for it to happen again. The Midas is here, Brawl. Got his picked up. So far, so good with the pressure that they've been able to apply around this Dragon Knight. 2 tier 1s already taken by Tundra, mainly off the back of the Elder Dragon Form pushes. See what?
Cure is going to go for a Maelstrom here. Pretty standard. Obviously, gives Wind Ranger the possibility of really killing Monkey King even during the ring if you have good positioning. Get that max win run up and running and stay focus fired with the Maelstrom procs. A little bit of backup from your Storm and you've probably got yourself a recipe for a kill.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
I'm looking for an opportunity. This is the one tower they want to defend, apparently. So this one, they're not going to let Brawl go for, but he recognized what's going very early.
I think understandable as well. You know, we're seeing how strong Nightfall actually has ended up being at this point in the game because of the free farm that he's had. It's not a bad idea to try and connect with your Slardar to defend that tier 1. But as it is, the push, it's not going to come in from Tundra there. And Betboom know it. They're swinging around over towards the mid area of the map. Brawl feeling strong with the haste rune, able to step up and get the D ward. Betboom considering getting some sort of wraparound here from a bit of a different angle. Hard to do so. They don't really want to dive forward for Brawl. Not really finding the initial connection that they'd hoped for there, Betboom. Tundra. Playing nice and defensive. Whitemon has hit the 6, so we'll have the chance to throw out a Chain Frost if Betboom go diving for him on the bottom lane, which is the place that Betboom continue to hang around Pure here. Push begins here towards the tower. And Tundra, they're looking to connect and take this fight. Smoke comes in from both Immersion and Bryle.
It's too late, I think.
Tower's going to go. We'll see if Tundra still want to take a fight after losing it. Kasani having a bit of a poke. Betboom in themselves not going to take this as any sort of way of going in on the fight. They know that sort of play from Kasani, that backup is inbound, and they won't look to take this with the number disadvantage. In fact, they'll try and capitalize on the fact that potentially Tomato, they might find him on his own on this top lane. That's going to be the case.
Similar to last game, Kasani is going for the Solar Crest without any of that, and he will now do it on the Razor. This item will have 3 works.
Radiant are scanning for
Now
enemies.
completing it up here. But builds from Pavis and gives a barrier.
And you can't use it offensively, right?
I believe that is correct. You don't want to give the enemy barrier.
But yeah, no,
I'm trying to think of some really weird edge case where that would be a good thing, but I cannot think of one.
Well, Toronto, Tokyo. He's going to get caught here. Oh, they'll throw everything out. Whitemon just wants some dead. Throws out the Chain Frost. Get a bit of value farming here with the Ancient Stack pretty much getting cleared. Betboom, they'll maybe try and take this fight. They're TPing over. They know that the Chain Frost has been thrown out, so no threat here from the Lich with regards to the ultimate. GPK will jump straight forward for Kasane. They can burst through this Razor. He'll get the coverage of Immersion with the Avalanche. Toss back as well. Immersion trying to do his best to save Kasane. But Pure, he's already found Whitemon. Nightfall will finish Immersion. And they chase for Kasane as well. GPK using all of his mana to try and close in. Pure is able to close up over towards the Razor. Another power shot. Is there anything else coming in to help Kasane? There isn't. There's no tower. There's no TP potential here from the rest of the team. Kasane left on his own. They'll lose the 3 of them. Betboom choosing the perfect time there to fight back against Tundra. As Tundra did go pretty deep. And it's a safe. Threw a lot down to just kill off Toronto Tokyo on the gyro. Toronto Tokyo's back in action though up top. I mean, Tomato's trying to go for him. He's apparently quite hard to take down this gyrocopter. Toronto Tokyo's able to drop the ult, step back. Bryle will blink in. That should finish off Toronto Tokyo, who was not expecting the dragon to appear in those final moments, so he will finally die. Bryle now able to put some pressure onto this tier 1 tower top as well.
I believe this was that an Arcane Rune Dragon form?
It was, yeah. It was popped during the end of it.
Yeah. Gonna have it again relatively soon.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the things that can happen that can really backfire when you try to go for a rune steal like that. So obviously Tundra, okay, maybe we'll never have time to talk about it.
But they're going to try and go for Kasane, but he's a tanky hero here on the Razor, and he's able to turn. Pure's going to die for this effort, and so is Save. This time round, maybe overestimating how much they could do to Kasane, as even without the other 2 heroes showing up, they weren't really close to threatening this Razor's life.
This super thing. Solar Crest treads 1. It's such a long kill. I'm actually kind of surprised they went for it, like you said. It wasn't even close, so get punished, as they should in that situation. Yeah, what I was saying about the Wisdom Rune fight before, when you're invading the enemy Wisdom Rune, you should expect them to show up in spades, right? When you start showing that intent, heroes are going to TP over. I think it was really crucial for Tundra's loss there that they didn't have Tomato connecting. Oh,
Tomato, talking about Tomato as well. He steps down into the river. He'll try and get the ult laid down. Will succeed in doing so, but the missile comes flying through. Nothing to be done to keep him alive. Bryle will catch up Toronto Tokyo in the river. GPK opting for the TP out, and he'll make it away before anyone finds him. They'll get the kill. They'll take out Tomato. They only lose Toronto Tokyo on the support gyro for it. Betboom continuing to have the favorable trade there.
They could somehow got vision there on the storm. That would have been a disaster for Betboom, but end up getting away with it, I should say. Yeah, I mean, the 1-for-1 trade is really good for them. They killed the enemy carry and lost their 5, so. GPK going a different build this game. No Orchid. Doesn't feel like it's worth it. He's going the Kaya Sanj. Really wants the status resist against these tons of stuns to try to mitigate the risk being jumped. Could easily see this potentially being a Linken's game as well. You are playing against that Dragon Tail. Or maybe you do need the BKB, because there's too much. He hasn't chipped.
Tundra
Not listed anything.
settle for the jump on save here towards the end of the smoke. Get a quick pick on the mid. Tomato's able to get involved. More money for him to help towards that Desolator.
I wonder if what Tundra are doing in this game is going to become like popular, running multiple solar crests, right? Running one on the Razor, the Lich is building one as well. So they're opting for this over other items that would traditionally be really good against these heroes. I think this is just okay, actually they were going to try for that one, but okay, we'll get away in time. You know, whenever you buy Solar Crest and a support, you're buying it at the expense of Glimmer Cable Force Step. If you think about it. Or whatever other item Midas is for that route.
Over here now.
I guess they're really valuing the barriers against this heavy single target damage that Slaughter has to offer, but I don't know. Feels like a good Force Step game to me.
Oh, again in the mid. Hey, well, I think it's sort of been the third Chain Frost we've seen Whitemon throw down onto Toronto Tokyo, and well, each time it certainly worked out. Another pick-off here, in which Tomato's able to join up and get a bit of a gold bounty and an XP with that pick-off.
Do you like the new cooldown?
I see pretty. I mean, he's using it very easily, like to just put clear waves, push forward. I mean, ultimately, what does sort of the changes mean for it?
It means that, like, let's say you missile someone and they're running away from the missile and then you call down. They now have to either run into the missile or run through multiple calldowns back to back, right? If they're taking that path. I actually think the new cooldown might be really, really powerful with combinations where you forcefully displace enemy heroes or have a way of, yeah, just how to say, making their only path to run straight back, right? Like if you could block them off on the side, so you either run along the path of the cooldown or you just die. There's definitely something there. This used to be a high-level talent.
Yep. He's going to be able to get the insta-Chakra shot to Whitemon. They'll snowball over towards Bryle. They've got the bashes and Nightfall pops the BKB. Make sure you can completely commit in on towards the DK and look for more now. They go into the river, chase down Kasane. Betboom hitting very, very hard at a point where Nightfall's getting involved. Continuing to have a flawless game. 4-0-5 on the carry Slardar and not afraid to fight now.
Disassembled his Echo Saber to get the BK timing for this play, and it pays off big time. It's always fun with these like hero dynamics of plus armor versus minus armor when you discuss like who's really favored, right? Because you could say Dragon Knight's one of the better heroes against Slaughter because he's pretty tanky. But well, your hero's generally reliant on being tanky, so when you mitigate that, like who's really countering who here, right?
Yeah, he's just gone in a couple of
died so quickly in this instance.
Kasane as well.
Yep.
It's a lot of damage coming out from this Slaughter.
I wonder if these barriers are going to come back to bite them. I mean, it also gives armor, right? So it's not like the Solar Crest is bad, but in these situations, if you're caught, are the barriers really going to save you versus Force Staff, like where you can reposition your heroes to get away? Gonna see how it develops here. So minus armor, speaking of, Tomato will get a Desolator, obviously on the opposing side here, but big DPS increase for him as well as his other two cores who do significant physical damage. I like him going this route this game.
Still difficult for him to turn up to fights. BKB queued up next, but it's going to take quite some time to get there. As we've seen, even in this sort of game, when the BKB is done, there's still absolutely ways that Betboom can threaten the cause of Tundra. Not an easy game for Tundra to itemize.
I think if you BKB and then you get Slaughter ultied and Windranger ultied and they're still tag team, like, you're probably still in trouble, honestly. So, yeah, not easy indeed. GPK, we talked about what he's going to go next. He opted for the Witchblade, and he will not upgrade it yet. So he will not be getting the new axe that I already forgot again what's called.
Parasma.
I don't understand how you can remember that. Okay.
He's going to get jumped at the backups here. Tomato for the sidelines. Will be able to drop down the ult and the pound list. Betboom, they'll kite it out. They'll step out. Chain Frost, so they're going to be able to split, save, falling low. Back's there. He's also sort of trapped in his own shards. It doesn't matter. He's still able to live through this. They weren't quite able to finish him off. Now GPK will zip straight over towards Immersion. Tundra, they have to run. Whitemon's able to hide in the trees and TP out. They'll make it away from this, but we're seeing absolutely how strong Betboom are at this point in these fights. You know, you mentioned the sort of snowball potential for one of these teams if they do start to get ahead. But we're seeing that now with this 5k lead. Betboom's able to head into the Roshan. It's getting to the point where fighting back against Betboom in a 5v5, it's going to become increasingly more and more difficult.
One of the absolute biggest upsides to playing Slaughter as a carry here is obviously he can do a ton of the damage to the Rosh himself. A lot of the time when you see Slaughters go to Rosh, they'll offer a Corrosive Haze as an offlaner, maybe not have that much in the tank, but he's really high level. He's got high attack speed, Orb of Destruction, and obviously is building to kill single targets in his itemization and has more net worth than an offlane Slaughter usually would. So it's going to be a pretty quick Rosh kill despite not even using Focus Fire on it. He still took that down very easily. Nightfall is now opting for either Dagger or Axe, queuing up both items for now. curious to see what the verdict is going to be. You could make a case for not buying the dagger at all, as a matter of... Oh my god, that is... Okay, well, it wouldn't be a Betboom game without a little bit of Tormentor fun.
I mean, they got it. It did cost them a couple of lives.
The Tormentor got buffed.
It did get buffed. What were the buffs, Cinder, and tell me?
So you can't give it below 0 armor.
Correct.
And it has an aura.
It does.
That burns for DPS. And effectively, these heroes... This is, you know, good old muscle memory, I almost want to say, of... We could have definitely done this yesterday. I wonder if we can do it today. And Save is like, all right, guess I'll save myself.
At least he had it snowball. You know, he was fine in that one. But DJ, the new ability, the Shining, 30 damage per second on a 0.2 second interval. So 6 damage per tick. And that consistent damage adds up.
Why is it always Betboom this happens? So it's so funny to me. It's always them. Well, they got it.
They got it.
And the shard went to Save, so he will be able to... I mean, it's not the greatest, especially because his build is only 1 in the shard. So obviously you'd like to have more points. You have 4 points in shards. You can actually clear full creep waves with this ability. But now, won't be the case. Technical pause here. They are reading the patch note why they died to the Tormentor.
They might be, they're like, hold on, this is a bit stronger than last time.
It's Betboom though, so they could be reading those patch notes every day, and they would still find a way. It's just, it's part of the team's DNA. Every team has their Achilles heel. For Betboom, it's not the opposition. It is the match. That always is.
Smoke down here from Tundra.
Let the fun begin.
On the way towards the top. The only one around that area was GPK, and he's out. Even if he stuck around, he did still have his Aegis.
Strong smoke from Betboom. Tundra are going to try to match them, but this is going to be all about who gets the initial vision. If you see the Monkey King first and you jump him, the fight's almost lost immediately. There's so much burst damage coming out from Betboom in this play. Sword Art Dagger completed can easily connect on the move as well. Good offensive vision in the enemy triangle, which is actually going to see Tomato here.
Nibio goes straight away for Toronto Tokyo, but the snowball save there. They'll go straight back towards Bravo. He's tanking, they're turning. The boundary strike comes in now to the turn, and Tomato's able to get the ult off in time. White One's being fully focused by GPK, and Pure is in with the BKB. He's able to bring down both White One and Tomato, and now looking over towards Bravo, they'll finish off a 4. As Betboom, more than happy to take these fights. The Tundra, unfortunately for themselves, walk in towards Kasane. Also in a whole world of pain, he's surrounded. It's going to be the team wipe, triple kill for Pure. Betboom's ability to fight right now, it's just too strong in comparison to what Tundra have.
Ironically, in that situation, so Betboom placed this really good offensive ward at the enemy triangle, and it sees Tomato coming in from the left, but that's not where the fight starts. The fight starts in the river, but Pure picks up immediately on the fact that Monkey King needs to flank in from the left. He pops his DD, and he just runs him down and kills him solo. Like, Pure just flat out won that fight for his team, killing the enemy carry in a 1v1, as it kind of turned out to be. And that was not a bad jump from Tundra by any means. They just couldn't bring Tomato into it. Immersion? All right, we'll live. Another Frost Shield plus Solar Crest is quite a lot of defense.
It's going to be quite concerning, though, for Tundra. Not being able to make any real moves in this last 10 minutes, and once again, as in game 1, they're falling behind a little bit faster this time, down 10k behind Betboom. Betboom, they're only going to continue to scale. Save Midas on its way out. On a Tokyo, jumped in the mid, and they'll have enough burst to bring him down. See if Betboom can punish this. Saves him with a shard trap. He's caught Immersion. Nightfall assessing as the situation, looking for the best entry to get in on this. He'll go for White Mon first. Now he'll turn for Immersion. Sure, they get Toronto Tokyo, but once again, it's just Betboom cleaning up these kills. Pure the one to get both of those. So more money here for the Wind Ranger. BKBs are flying out. GPK's got his done, so 45 seconds left on the Aegis, but with the BKB done on the Storm now as well. How on earth are they going to get these core kills? It's looking much more difficult now for Tundra as opposed to that point earlier where they were trying to make these smoke movements. At this stage, well, what is the plan for Tundra? Do you still try and look for these fights, or you just got to avoid and hold back, wait for Tomato to get his build online?
Your lineup doesn't really have many other options, right? I guess you can maybe stall out until Tomato has BKB, so you can at the very least have a better chance of standing his ground against the Wind Ranger. But the fact of the matter is, top 3 networks are on the enemy team, and we already saw in the previous fight what Pure could do to him, so it is really hard. And on top of all of that, let's say you get your items, how do you open the fight? Who do you go on? no matter who you jump, they can get blink, snowball saved, and they will be able to pop BKB when they come out of that, except if they're the gyro. So picking your poison is really the name of the game here. Finding a clean engagement. Maybe you can do some sort of poke and prod. Maybe the absolute best play is a blink tossback. I honestly think that's the highest probability play you have. If you blink tossback into a dragon tail, but already that is quite execution heavy. You need to be in the right place, the right time on 2 heroes. You need to see the right target, and then you need to pull it off.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
The options are definitely starting to fade, because the other way to do it is to play the fights a bit slower, right, and try to poke and prod. But I just don't think your lineup wins that type of fight against Betboom, right? You don't really have the best poking abilities. Betboom, if you start poking and show a hero here or there, they're just going to jump you and kill you, right? You don't have the same defensive capabilities. You've got Frost Shield and you've got these 2 Solar Crests, but Betboom will just redirect their focus to another hero. If you pop all of this stuff on the guy you jump, Storm can jump another guy, Wind Ranger can continue wind running, Slara has Sprint and Dagger. We saw that in the river fight earlier where they initially went on the Tiny and then he just readjusted. Trying to be sneaky here.
Get vision of immersion now. He's quick with the blink, but save. So he is as well. They'll jump in under the tier 2. They're not afraid to dive for this as they'll get immersion. DP's coming in. I mean, Pure just pops the BKB, looks to chase down Whitemon. Whitemon will get back up to the safety of the high ground. Pure, he's going to have to use the rest of his BKB to TP out, and he'll make it away from there. He's able to escape. See if Tundra can punish Betboom at all. Looking towards Nightfall, but Nightfall pops the BKB. They got any way to control him. It doesn't look like they do. Nightfall's able to continue to retreat. Save is going to have blink back up again in 5 seconds. Have they got any way to cancel it in time? Plasma Field, it's not going to reach him. Save, he's going to be out as well. Betboom, they're able to go full retreat and make sure the Tundra, they get nothing from that, even with them committing with the buyback from immersion.
And that's 2 Wisdom Runes as well. This whole play from Betboom was tailored to get the Wisdom Rune. They get there in time. They did get immersion the first time around, but they got him the second one. This is, well, maybe saving the rune. He will take it himself. Almost level 20. It's going to bring him up to probably the Focus Fire talent. He can lay into Monkey King even harder.
Tundra, I don't know if they want to be around here. They've got to get out of here, but Nightfall, he's in with a 2-man crush. The backup's in from Betboom. Pure, get the Stressful Shot down on the brow. Tomato looking for the ultimate here to lay down over towards Nightfall. Groundless strike as well. Not going to quite catch him, the Nightfall. Nightfall gets away to the side. They'll continue to chase him. Kasani is trying to finish Nightfall, but he's not able to do so. Nightfall's able to escape through the tree line. He'll get away. It's only Save going down as just once again, Betboom with their cause just proving to be unkillable. They're just avoiding each of these attempts. Even then, when sort of the entire duration of that BKB, Kasani heads in, tries to stay on top of the Slardar, he can't finish him off.
I'm actually really surprised that Betboom even chose that fight. That was their choice. The Slardar went in for a 2-man crush, but he didn't have BKB ready, and Wind Ranger didn't have hers either. So they're kind of forcing a fight without having all their tools, and that almost came back to bite them with a little bit cleaner execution there from Tundra. Maybe they find a pick on that Slardar and build something out of it, but yeah, he does manage to disengage, maybe a bit too strong there with the Scepter. I think he did have that in this fight, so maybe why he had the confidence to go in. Obviously, you're way stronger in those pools, but still an unnecessary risk really there for Betboom that could have gone wrong. They do salvage it, only losing Save in the process, but yeah, would probably be wiser to just chill and wait until you have your BKBs for every single engagement when they're on your terms. That safety. Slardar is now, if you thought he was unkillable before, rocking a shield rune for the next 45 seconds. Definitely make it even harder, and he will have the BKB. Actually, just flat out, just not a target.
Yeah, they're just doing an incredible amount of damage. With the harassment now done on GPK.
You love that one.
Increased that extra magical damage they're able to do. He's able to reduce their resistances by 20% with that right click. Tundra also smoked up. How on earth do they find a way to catch Betboom by surprise every single time? Even when, as we just discussed, Betboom don't have their cooldowns available. Betboom are just getting away with it every single time. Very scary for Tundra to be making this move, but at the same time, they have to look for something.
While with the... At the very least, he can keep pushing out this wave with Fireball, right? So he doesn't... They don't need to expose any hero to keep the push going. Get some position here. Maybe. Okay.
Will show. They're going to try and jump over towards Nightfall. Tomato comes in as well with the boundless for the BKBs there. Knight falls away. They'll turn their attention out towards Toronto Tokyo. Tree coming in towards him. Kasani will chase him out. They'll kill off the gyrocopter. If Kasani can turn for more. Plasmafield comes out of the three of them. Look for Saber. Look at this damage coming in from Pure as he focus fires down Kasani. Now the buybacks are coming in from Betboom. They're happy to keep this fight going. GPK zips over the walls. Whitemon will get tossed up here. He's falling low on mana, but he's still got enough to close in on towards Immersion. Immersion getting right-clicked down by Nightfall. Fryle, the last one left alive. He's desperately trying to find GPK, but the shackle shot lockdowns there from Pure. GPK can keep his distance. The bashes come in. It's going to be another team wipe here for Betboom.
GPK, I think, in that fight, full-on solo Tomato off-screen. He jumped him in the bottom left in the tree line and just killed him with that magic damage, or magic damage amplification, or resistance reduction, I should say, from Parasma, just obliterating the enemy carry. And that didn't necessarily look like the worst initiation from Tundra, but again, it's just kind of awkward, right? You're jumping with Slardar, he pops his BKB, disengages, your BKB start running low, the enemy team gets as much info as you do. Over the course of the fight, just slowly but steadily whittling them down from multiple angles. The only real quick assassination there was the GPK kill, but that was the biggest one. If Tomato doesn't get to play the fight, you just don't have enough in the tank.
18k down now. Tundra.
He just unstoppable. GPK can honestly kind of just do whatever he wants, right? He can jump someone completely recklessly, try to kill them. If they turn around and kill him the once, he can BKB his second life, and they have no way of stopping it. And they can't kill him once he BKBs, so essentially a completely just has a free pass into the next fight to give his team all the information in the world. And really, when you think about it, the only thing Betboom's lineup needs is vision. As long as they see something, they can just pick that target and let the fight develop. So shouldn't be too difficult for them. They have so many good ways of acquiring that vision. Windrunner can run in with her Aghanim Scepter. You have Storm that can jump to give vision. You can Shard. Sparta can just, as we saw in the previous fight, just bait. Masane. Oh, he's out on GPK there. But this is obviously a lot of heroes here, but I think if Pure was in the neighborhood, they might have just jumped that.
For sure, yeah. GPK's not got a lot that he's scared of right now. I think we ended up just dying the once last game, and so far he's 7-1 of 10. It's looking like he's on track for a bit of a repeat level of performance in terms of his KDA.
He's about to complete an item we haven't seen yet today, I believe, the Bloodstone. I don't think that was bought in the first series either.
Every coin helps.
So this item has been changed this patch to get a new ability that it's the only item in the game that has, which I find to be quite random and interesting to say the least. So plus 75 AoE radius increase, and this should affect all of his items and all of his skills. He will have more AoE on static remnant explosion, I guess?
Yeah, and I think
on the overload proc.
I think so.
On the ball lightning with.
Sort of the other, yeah, I think it's on him pretty much at all.
If you get Ags on him as well for the Vortex, the radius of that should probably be bigger too. So all of his abilities can synergize with this. It'll be interesting to see if it ends up playing much of a role in some fight, where we could definitely say with confidence the extra 75 AoE was what did it. But
one thing without a doubt, when he's got that done, the amount of mana in it, he's going to have...
Oh, not again, Tomato.
Tomato's been caught. He'll try and get the BKB, and the Wukong's off, but Knight falls in on top of him. There's not a chance or a hope here for Tomato, as he is out for 60.
Where's my pension?
This has been a really hard game for him. I mean, it's also fair to say, obviously there was the first pick from Tundra in response to the Slardar, so he will get counter-picked, but man, the way they set up the lanes and the way especially GPK has been playing around the map has made life of Monkey King really, really difficult.
I mean, and this whole sort of like pivot of the Slardar into the carry position, it's just a fantastic ride. As you said in the draft, there's a lot of ways that other teams may have played this game with the Slardar in their lineup, and against what Tundra has, could have been punished. The way that Betboom have done it, it's been flawless. He's 8-0-15.
I'm really impressed with Nightfall being deathless. I think it's one thing to have a good start, but he's just really converted it so well, not overstepping the boundaries. He's been close to the limit, to be fair. He's tested it a couple of times, but...
GPK, I mean, just does insane amounts of damage now with how farmed he is. That build, Rasma really amping up how much he does solo. Nobody is safe to come out on the map on their own here for Tundra. They want to have any sort of chance, they've got to be grouped up. At the same time, in doing so, it's really hindering their chance of being able to get the farm on their cores. Kasani and Tomato in particular continue to sort of fall behind. Only really Brawl that's keeping up at some sort of level because of that Midas that is rocking. Stop, Nightfall. And we're finding Tomato here.
Not
Drags
again.
him back with the harpoon. I mean, Tomato will get the BKB off, but it's not really going to do a whole lot for him as Tomato gone again.
He just can't breathe.
And Betboom just literally crushing him here with Nightfall's play. At this point, the matchup, it's just not one that you want to be in as a Monkey King. This Slardar is enormous.
And it's the fact that despite, you know, we talked about the Slardar lane matchup being good in lane, he has no good core matchup. He's not good against Storm, and he's definitely not good against Wind Ranger either. So it's understandable Tomato's having a rough one because it's just a tough game for his hero to play. Betboom really excellently planned for this Monkey King to be a pivotal part of Tundra's lineup and just never let it come online. I think Tomato's had one good fight in this 37-minute brawl of the game. Never really got there.
Yeah. He's trying to go pretty aggressive, but he could have the backup and save with the snowball. Pure's able to hook the BKB and win one away. He's actually going to get away with it. He's going to be able to live. He turns with the shadow of the power over towards Kasani. Kasani puts the BKB. Get caught by the first round of bashes. Doesn't matter though. Still able to separate himself and get back up to the high ground. Nightfall now out of mana. See if they can continue to control him. They've got the Dragon Tail stun. Jump forward here from Bradley. Wants to continue to chase on towards Nightfall. It'll be a huge kill if they can get it. But the shackles there from Pure. He holds back the efforts from Brawl. They'll turn and settle towards Toronto, Tokyo. And Toronto, Tokyo, with the Ogre Seal turn, will be able to live a little longer, but finally does fall. White man able to finish him with the blast. They will manage to get the two supports. I mean, the core survived from Betboom, but definitely a situation there where I think Pure, you know, he's sort of baited his supports into death.
I was just
They're
gonna
like,
say,
Pure,
this,
come on.
This seems to be like a mandatory part of Betboom this series. Pure has to... He has to
go for that play.
I don't know if I would call that
we love to see.
I don't know if I would call that limit testing. I think he knew that was too much. And he did it anyway. I mean,
and Save's like, here we go again. I've got a blink and save with my snowball.
I mean,
poor old Save his life.
He did get saved, but it cost them 2 spots. I think maybe they lost. Was that their own gem that dropped on the ground? I think it might have been. So, yeah, Save lost the gem there.
Oh no! It's something.
You've got a pretty big buffer here for Betboom.
You have.
But, I mean, don't make too many of those mistakes, or obviously Tundra can definitely find a way back. So, a little bit. I don't know if cocky is the right word there, but yeah, I'll stick. That was a little bit cocky.
Pure. He'll wait until he has his Daedalus done before he goes for that sort of play next time. Because then once the Daedalus is done, he'll probably be able to kill them quick enough that he can afford to dive into 4 heroes alone.
Big talent here. Side note, 225 heroes on the side of Betboom. Slardar, Undispellable Corrosive Haze. Storm with the Overload attack bonus. Yeah, again, Nightfall focusing way more, or way less on the Slither and Crush aspect of the hero. He built it differently in the start with the skills, and now he's using Undispellable Haze, so cannot remove it with the Dragon Knight Mansa. Can't remove it with... Does it have anything else? I guess it has the Ghouls on the Tiny. I didn't really have that many dispels to begin with, but he's just protecting himself against it.
Betboom, they're charging over the map towards Tundra. See who they catch first. Immersion, he's out with a blink. Very quick reaction there. That may just be enough to save him. They'll check over towards the area that Tomato was playing in. This time round, Tomato's out in time. Be able to back away, get his next item done. Lincoln Sphere now complete on the Monkey King.
Feels like the first move that Betboom have made in quite a while where they didn't find it. So, time around Tundra, get the dodge. But they don't get anything for it. They get to survive, but no presence on the map.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance that Betboom want to re-invade that area at minute 42.
And have a look at this as well. I don't know if you got the chance to talk about this, but we do have the new Shivas picked up on Kasani.
True. So this has been changed so it uses Veil now. And I'm trying to remember. This item is so different. Like everything is different. So it reduces the attack speed of enemies as usual, and all heals and regeneration and lifesteal as usual as well.
It's the active.
But it also gives... It increases the... It's just specifically spell amp, right?
Yeah, 15% more damage.
15% spell amp, and it's from all types of spells, so it should also affect physical damage spells that you have. I don't know if they... I guess they technically don't really have anything that will synergize with that directly, but yeah, just a new flavor on the Shivas that makes it better on certain heroes and certain lineups to have that spell amp part of the wave. And the build-up's different and all the stats are... But still does the same thing about giving vision and giving armor. That's a constant.
Smoke on smoke here. Who's going to be the one to be jumped first? Toronto, Tokyo heading in to try and get some information here for Betboom. Tomato is into the trees. Quickly off them there. Good reactions from Tomato to make sure that he isn't jumped here by that first attempt from Nightfall. And now Immersion Look at the jump back, trying to look for the toss. He will get it on towards Toronto Tokyo. They focus the gyrocopter first. Toronto Tokyo able to pop the Ghost Scepter and able to get out. Toronto Tokyo is going to live. Immersion goes down. Nightfall, he's found his target. He's in on top of Tomato. Tomato will get the ultimate off, but Nightfall and GPK able to easily take him out. They've found 3. They'll find Kasani as well as they run him down through the BKB. They even catch Brawl hiding in the corner of the map. They'll hunt him down, put a stop to his TP attempt, kick it out of the Skirtler. As the 4 or 5 of them taken out once again. Triple kill for GPK. Betboom starting to lose count really at the amount of team wipes they've been finding this game since.
We actually had some temporary evidence of where he ended up landing because there's a little bit of a water pool out there. Toronto Tokyo with a fun reaction here. He walked into the Razor ult and died on his gyro. After getting a heroic escape, he just basically just walked into the dive. I hope we get a replay of that kick. That looked pretty cool. He landed up all the way up on the grass.
This is once again a fight as well in a situation where Roshit's there waiting for them.
Yeah.
So Betboom into the pit they go. Nightfall, he'll be able to get his second, or his next item done with the upgrades, the blink, swift blink.
This one's got a banner
It's
on.
got a Roshan's banner. Go, let them know what's going on with that one, Sid.
Yeah, so you can place a banner anywhere on the map, and the creeps that pass by the banner get 45 seconds of 50% extra damage and 75% extra health. So it's a way of like buffing up your pushes on the creep wave. GPK was fake denying it. I think he really doesn't think it's good. And here's the kick. All right, let's see it. Oh. So it's coming in a sec. Don't worry. I promise. This is like a little water circle out there for the next 10 seconds, randomly. I don't know. I thought that was fun. Anyway, yep. Roshan banner. Did they give it to anyone? Did they just straight up instantly use it? Where is it?
Stupendous.
Where is it? It's in?
Oh, he... Okay.
Oh, it's there.
They're pushing pod, guys.
All right, he just dropped it down here. I think it was also a similar thing about in the secret game, right? They just dropped it.
All right,
they didn't really care for
so
it.
to me, the way this just got used,
yeah,
to me, this is a protest, effectively, when I see this. It's like, this...
No, I mean, this isn't terrible, right? You're buffing up the creep.
This is effectively him saying, I would have rather had a refresher shard, is what I'm reading here. Sure, you're putting a little...
Yeah, you're putting this extra pressure on bottom. You know, it's an item that you lay down there, and then you're going to keep sort of Tundra held in base.
I feel like if you want to use this really effectively, you want to... Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Okay, I take back everything I said because I misunderstood how long it lasts. The banner lasts 5 minutes.
Yes.
It's the buff that lasts 45
So I think they're onto something with the placement here. It's not bad at all. Mid lane immersion.
There they go.
He'll get caught.
What I thought was that the banner lasts 45 seconds and he was going to buff like 2 waves. I'm like, okay, dude, at least use it while you're pushing another lane, right?
No, this is a good spot to have it.
I get it now. I get it. It's new for everybody. And more so for me than anybody else, apparently.
Because now they can put the pressure on themselves top, and indeed these buffed up creeps are just going to keep that bottom creep wave pushed all the way in.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Now look for the jump in. He tried to get the kickback, but they're very quick with the grab there. They'll punish it. GPK.
Oh my god, the damage!
He dragged back the 2 of them. Tomato's falling solo. We had to put the BKB and get out of this. Tomato will only just escape that effort. Toronto Tokyo just...
He didn't escape.
Didn't. He ended up dying, and now outside of the base, Immersion's in trouble. He tries to chase on 4, but GPK's back in, drags the 2 of them back. Brown's gonna get taken out, the 3 of them dead without buyback. Kasani's gonna get run down. He's trying to rely on this barrier to keep him alive, but he'll still end up popping triple kill for GPK. As this push, it's coming up to the high ground. They don't have much left to play here with Sin. I think sort of in those moments as well, so just the ticks of damage from the Witchblade part of the Parasma, bringing these heroes down on their attempted escapes. They'll get the mid-racks. They can go for the Megas, they can go for the tier 4s. They've got a lot of options open here, Betboom. 38k, 39k lead.
Oh my god, those are some chonky siege creeps down bottom. 1600 health on each of those bad boys, and they're really big, which is just as intimidating. So here they come, finally a way to siege creeps to get those buffed up, right? Always like the thing with...
Dude, what do you think sort of like the buffed up mega creeps look like?
Even bigger.
Oh, that's going to be insane. GPK, he's ready to do some fountain diving. I'm on. They can kind of bait GPK into any sort of dangerous play around the fountain. He still, of course, has the Aegis for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Betboom, they're playing it safe. They're looking for the Megas. They'll be able to take down that bottom racks, take out the top, get the Mega creeps. Tundra, they'll have everyone back up in 15 seconds. And well, again, trying to see if they can get someone out close towards the fountain. This time they can. They'll get safe. They'll be able to get him tossed back into the fountain. Mega creeps are out. Merchant trying for a further catch on to Pure, but Pure's going to be able to step away. Boom. I mean, Nightfall and Toronto Tokyo, they're considering maybe jumping back in. We'll see how far Merchant looks to reach outside of the base. Got to be cautious. GPK low on mana, still a minute left until that Aegis expires.
I think we need a camera on the banner right now.
Are we going to get some big creeps?
They're coming very soon, Owen. If this chase doesn't lead to anything, it's time for
I
the
don't think
big
it is.
boys.
Betboom's resetting. They're happy with the mega creeps. They're TPing out.
The big boys are coming. How big can they get?
Whoa.
That's a chunker.
Look at that. A mega creep.
2,222 health on the melee ones.
It's pretty terrifying.
The ranged one, 1776.
Now, this banner, it's done a lot. Great position for them to just slam it down straight away. GPK, he's still playing around with Tundra here up top. Yeah, he's able to even keep the Aegis safe. He'll TP back to base. Regardless, it's going to time out here in the next 20 seconds.
Oh shit, they're coming. They're going.
Look at these poor old creeps just getting destroyed by the mega creeps.
Now the good news for Tundra is, well, there's not that much good news, you know, you're down 40k and you got Mega, but the banner is about to expire. But they got all 5 minutes worth of push down here. I'm actually kind of curious to see how teams use this, because the obvious thing, now that I understand how it works, is to do this, right? Where you place it and you push the opposite side of the map with your heroes. It's essentially a free split push where the enemy team has to always go and deal with the bottom.
It is pretty sure. I mean,
are teams going to realize the banner's down and then go look for it?
I think for sure, right? You know which lane it's on. You probably are going to at least maybe getting a support to smoke up, try and get out to it. It's, I think, what, 6 hits, right, to kill. So if you find it, you will get it. But yeah, you've got to be able to somehow find some way of getting one of your heroes out of the base to deal with it. Even so, it's finally come to an end. So
do you remember how much radius it has when it gives the buff? Can you like place it and hide it in the trees and still hit the wave?
I want to say it's like a 900 radius.
Because then they place it in the middle of the wave, right? They could have technically placed it in the trees off to the side. Okay, kick.
There's the kick back onto Kasani. They'll be able to put the BKB, but the physical damage from Pure with a focus fire will destroy him. He is gone. Same to be said for Tomato. This looks to be the beginning of the end here, as they're diving in beyond the tier 4s. The remaining 2 members of Tundra desperately trying to get back towards the fountain, but Pure, he's ready to dive in with the BKB. They'll kick Pride out of the fountain. GG is called. Betboom here with the 2-0, knocking Tundra out of the competition.
And I think it's just fair to say they were just better.
No, they were.
They were just flat out better. In this game, we talked about it. It was going to be a big brawl. Tons of stuns, tons of rotations coming in, and GPK back-to-back awesome storm performances.
Yeah, this might have to be something that teams are going to consider. By the way he's playing it, I don't think it's necessarily patching. Of course, we're seeing the Parasma in the later stages of the game definitely amping up his offense.